Hi everyone. Alright. So I just thought, seeing as I do a bit of music, some of you may never heard of anything like this before. I don't know if you listen to rap or not, but I like going to the prisons and the schools and stuff like that and whatnot, so I might do a couple of songs for you if that's alright. Unless you're like, nah, I don't want you to, then I won't. But I'm here now, so probably gonna do it anyway. Right, let's get ready. Yeah. I was running from me, running from you. Been that way since I was in school. Lost in the world, I was trying to make moves. Took a gamble, I'd win some and then lose. Was running from me, running from you. Stuck in a web of lies and that's true, man. I needed your peace to lighten that mood. Was running from me, running. How did it get so hectic? I was disconnected back then. Pro-digs if they disrespected. I was in sale, OT, Brody, stressed. The trying test was asking all these questions, brethren. Don't start with me, I beg you. Back then, shut down thing like Skeptor. Now I'm on a mission guiding the lost souls. Could've died, but I survived, and God knows I was doing mad spins on 25. Couple man said they're gonna end my life. I'm like, right, do we ride? Can't lie, it was peak. No feet from the wrong side of the street. Danger zone with a few close shaves. Couldn't really show my face at those raids. Now they know I'm saved to pray and show grace. Free from sin, escape my own ways. Still I was addicted, but God flipped it. In a moment, rolling, limp biscuit. No business trying to be my own God. I knew he'd open the door, but I said I won't knock. In the dark trying to find the light. I was blind of the rappers that I idolized. I knew God was calling, but I kept stalling, cause I had to wait for the vital sign. Running. I like the music a bit louder, but that's the loudest it goes, so bear with me. running. Hey. I was running from me, running from you. Been that way since I was in school. Lost in the world, I was trying to make moves. Took a gamble, I'd win some and then lose. Was running from me, running from you. Stuck in a web of lies and that's true, man. I needed your peace to lighten that mood. Was running from me, running from you. Stuck in the matrix, blood on the faces. Always see the young bro smokes in the papers. Boys from the ends are up to no good. The stats are high, so to change there's no rush. Everyone carrying weight, shield of faith, cause I lighten them arrows with flames. I was covered in dirt, troubled in hurt. I discovered his words, so I'm putting him first. I feel like salvation coming, demons hear his name and start running. I feel like salvation coming, back to the world, to God they start running. Just like a marathon race, a wide road flex, now the narrowest pavement. Wicked in sin, thought I had a good heart though. Couldn't pay the price, kept scanning that barcode. State of war, my body was numb. Wake up call for the prodigal son. I was on the run, he was chasing me, gracing me. Ain't no stopping his love. Guys who were beefing over a sweet thing, highs and the lows for a dose of the feeling. Hooks on the spins like money ain't a thing, but I made it my God, now I'm running with the king, Jesus.
Amen.
I'll do one more for you, why not? Do you know what? What I'll do, I was going to do another one. I'll do this, I always say rap's like a language, you can either understand it or you can't, so I'll do an a cappella, which is like without music, so you can hear the words. And you might hear some like Marvel references in this one, if I can remember it, and then I'll do another one for you. They used to want to catch me slipping, but my path was written. Can't be on the fence, you gotta be fully submitted. With the vision of a Hawkeye, boys get hit with the Iron Man, enough Black Widows and they all cry. The Lord is my banner, Jehovah Nissi, this for the boys in the slammer, lost souls in prison. Thor with the hammer, man a raw with the grammar from Manchester City with the coldest spitters. A couple man, yeah, they wanted me dead. Cause I was with a brother that got shot in his chest. If you rep, then the street rules you gotta respect, but they won't take care of your fam when you're in a box or you're dead. So they lost my respect. The streets full of hypocrites, married to the game but they cheat like a bigamist. Shots pop like Little Mix, so the block hot like Turk and Wayne. No love thugs prefer to hate. You want to hear one more or not? Not care? Yeah, alright. The kids like this one, so I'll just do this one quickly. I wish it could go louder, but that's the loudest it goes, I'm sorry. Turn the mic down.
Yeah, only goes that loud.
You want to shake a leg? You can shake a leg if you want. You don't have to. Listen to the lyrics, if you can hear it.
I live like there's nothing to fear again. Won't slip, but I must have been near the edge.
But I think I can turn it up on air as well.
There
There we go, that's better. Yeah. Hey. sick and tired of people letting me down. You were there when no one else was. Helped me find myself, times I felt lost. Got me on the right path, down for a minute, but the empire strikes back. Now when the right tracks, I'm propelled by the spirit of the scale. When you hear it, you can tell a lie that. At a moment of madness, every day felt like a soldier in battle. But I gotta be the one to break up the chains and everything I face. Having no mistake in my faith. Got me feeling myself, the gifts you giving me, you don't want me to keep in the shell. I never thought I'd be needing your help. Always by my side, never leave me as well.
I live like there's nothing to fear again.
No fear.
Won't slip, but I must have been near the
I was on the edge.
The times that I thought that you did not
Hey.
care. When I ran
Right, let's get a bit of involvement. Clap everyone if you can. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Got God on my side and walk. 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 Hey, got God on my side and walk. Got God on my side and walk. Got God on my side and walk. Got God on my side and got God on my side and walk. Got God on my side and walk. Got God on my side and walk. Yeah, got God on my side and walk. Hey, got God on my side and walk. Got God on my side and walk. Got God on my side and got God on my side. Freedom. Got me counting my blessings, coming with the message, now they hear it louder than ever. Change the tempo, it's big things, you can never break my 10 toes, a kid game. Which way do I go when the signs out there? We're so low, man, I nearly died down here. I was running like F.R.O.G, like don't panic. Standing on the edge with no balance. Next thing I'm on wings like eagles. Don't care if they don't think I'm decent. God got my back, ain't worry about nothing. Smash the cash, what happens when the money stops coming? Building a dream, I'm equipped with the skills in the field. I bring the brand new to the scene. Lockdown, got the keys in my hand, freedom with the fire like I'm heating the pan. Hey, got God on my side and what? 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 Yeah, got God on my side and what? Got God on my side and what? Got God on my side and what? Hey, got God on my side and what? Thank you. Might put my specs on so I can see properly. Don't mind me. I used to, people used to shout me all the time and I wouldn't be wearing my specs and I wouldn't know who it was. Like, yeah, you are, like from across the road, like, yeah, you're alright, I wouldn't know who it was. When people think I'm being rude and I'm ignoring them, I just couldn't see them. Yeah. It was a gloomy Thursday night, throwing it down as usual. And me and my boy Abs were in the basement of a Manchester studio. Doof, doof, yo, hurry up, quick time, yeah? Check in there, see if anyone's in there. If we see any of them, man, lick them down, they're getting smoked. Come on, rapid through that door, he's gotta be here. Yo, stop the beat. Can you hear all that noise? Yo, quiet, one sec, they're getting closer. Yo, they're not here, they're lucky, you know, let's dust, we gotta go, man. We went outside and saw the main studio door had been kicked off and we knew them guys were after someone. Yo, bro, tell Bell Strider, I'm gonna bell Nicky now, one sec. Yo, Nicky, some man have kicked the studio door clean off, G. They were after someone. Oh, bro, I know who it is, you know. It's them Slade boys after Jay. Remember, I told you they tried to do a drive-by shooting on him the other week. They must have clocked the building. Bro, you know them, man, don't mess about. Just get out of there, yeah? Watch your back. You're safe, yeah, you two in a bit. Yo, Marv Strider said he's hitting up the boys and he's on his way. He told us to wait here for him. Strider turned up with his gang, fuming and plotting revenge. It was two on top for us, so we got off. Let me spin it back to the beginning, way before the madness. It was the early 90s, and I lived with my mum, dad, and sister on an estate in South Manchester, known for its crime and chaos. Back then, it was shell suits, visors, bum bags, baggy jeans, and colourful concoctions of hip-hop styles. This was when you could get 2 sweaters for 20 quid from Stolen From Ivor. Between Mike and Dave, one of them was always trying to sell us something dodgy. Sky cards, VHS players, and stolen meat in wheelie bins. You'd hear mad stories. And my best mate told me he found a gun in a bin bag in his next door neighbour's back garden. And at 8 years old, my mate Jason got kidnapped from the estate. I was angry, I was upset. I was too young to understand what was going on. He got returned after the police got involved, but the money, the memory and scars from that didn't fade away. I got beat up in school one day, and my dad pulled me aside. Listen to me. If somebody hits you and you don't hit them back, I'm gonna hit you. Do you hear me? You've got to stick up for yourself. Yeah, Dad, I hear you. He wasn't being nasty. He was trying to teach me how to be tough to survive in a rough area. My mum, on the other hand, used to say, Marvin, tell the teachers, remember, sticks and stones will break your bones, but names will never hurt you. Yeah, all right, Mum. At this age, I quickly realised how powerful words were, and some names did hurt me, especially the racist ones. It was around this time my dad introduced me to the drums and started to teach me how to play. My dad had short, prickly hair, a slender physique, with the strength of Samson, and a fluffy moustache that made him look like Eddie Murphy in Beverly Hills Cop 2. In Blossom Hill Primary, my mate Liam taught me how to beatbox. I got into dancing then as well, because Michael Jackson was king, and you had the likes of MC Hammer, Bobby Brown, and even Vanilla Ice. Yeah, I even liked him as well. My dad was on his bass guitar, and I walked in, there was a microphone there. 1, 2, 1, 2, mic check. When you're naughty, you're naughty. When you're naughty, you're naughty. Why don't you ever listen? That's the first time I freestyled off the top of my head. And the only words I can think of is what my mum used to say to me. My mum was someone everyone knew on the estate. She loved to dance and used to blast the Pasadenas, Tina Marie, and Marvin Gaye on vinyl. I was named after him, if you didn't guess. My mum worked at the brewery in Moss Side, and my dad was an engineer for refrigeration and air conditioning. A few of my mum's friends used to look after us while they were working, and we'd always hear gossip about who's got nicked, who's on the run, and who's out of order. By the time I got to high school, I was fighting quite a lot, and in year 7, I ended up having to fight at year 9. This is where the karate had started learning when I was 9 came in handy, because I jumped and kicked him in the head, and he didn't know what hit him. I won't be able to do that now though. I won the fight, but a week later, he stabbed someone in the leg in the park, and it was the first time I started to think about God. Like, why didn't that happen to me? Maybe there's this guy in the sky who's looking out for me. By year 10, I was carrying weapons, nunchucks, ninja stars, and pocket knives because my school area was massively racist. I got my first mobile phone for £5 from Stuart Marsland. This massive Siemens phone you could build houses with, but I loved it. This is the time when a few people had them chip phones where you could call anywhere and they'd work until they didn't. By this point, I was proper into music. I was writing songs, mainly for girls. Loads of us were into pop, happy hardcore and jungle, but I was influenced by American rap, and I had family in New York where rap started and was heavy into Tupac, Wu-Tang and the Fugees. Picture me in baggy jeans, rocking a platinum FUBU top and my headphones on, bopping, getting about like an absolute member. I could have easily been one of the boys in a Mace video on Bad Boy. If you don't know who Mace is, you're either too young, too old, or you don't like rap music. I left school and was going to 3 colleges. One of them was doing a music course, and that's where I met Leanne. She was cool, always singing and proper into Jesus. Yo, Marv, you sick at rapping, you know. Jesus is all over you, bro. Nice one, Leanne. Is he? Yeah, sick. Course, Marv, he's got a plan for you. I'd listened to her, but wasn't really trying to hear it like that. I was just doing my thing. At my other college, I met a mate called Luke. He was funny, he had a bow with a limp like Suge Knight, and he played keys in a band at church. Bro, why don't you come and hear me play in the band? Alright, I'll come, lad. I was sat in a church thinking, what am I doing with all these Christian hypocrites? But I did feel peace in there though, and the way Luke played keys, it really soothed my soul. I started going now and again because I was chatting up the girls and not really paying attention. Then my dad started going, he had this encounter with God, and I thought he was mad, to be honest. He started taking me Wu-Tang Clan posters down and said it was idol worship. What's idol worship when it's about? A few months later, my younger sister started going, and it actually made me think, maybe God is in this, but I was deep in sin. I was in my room one night and just started thinking and writing, running wild, chasing money and women. Under the sun, my body numb when I succumbed to the spirits. After a few years, I was going to church now and again, but I was still wrestling with stuff like, who wrote the Bible? It didn't make sense to me. I was working with my dad a bit, fixing fridges and freezers. He'd always play these tapes in a van of people dying and going to hell, then coming back. I'd get so mad with him, and sometimes I felt like I wanted to fight him. I'd tell him to turn it off, because deep down it scared me. One time I was sat in church. It was as if there was a spotlight on me, and the pastor was just speaking to me. It started to hit me here, and not just here. I started to get emotional, which was unusual for me, because I always buried my feelings. Then I started going church more now because it had meaning. I even let people pray for me. The proper search for God started, and I'd talk to him and ask him questions. Then I had a flashback to when I was 11 years old, and I won a Bible reading contest. And I remembered Leanne and Luke in college, and this little black woman that told me about my life, even though I'd never met her before, and things started to piece together. My mate Jenny introduced me to her friend's fella, Abs. He rapped like me, and his favourite rapper was AZ. That wasn't supposed to rhyme, by the way. We became tight really quickly and started making music together. I later joined their rap crew. Most of them grew up together in Rushoe, Moss Side and Withington, and if one of us had a show, we'd all roll together. I loved it, but deep down I knew something was missing. I was still caught in a madness. Some of my boys were drug dealers and stick-up kids. I was messing with different girls, partying, and even developed a gambling addiction. The boys would talk about what graphs they were doing, who was shot in what. I even put a bit of money into a couple of deals myself. It was just our normal. Someone was always plotting how to make money and how to make things happen. The boys would say, Marv, don't back down. And one time we got into a massive brawl just before we were about to go on stage in Bower in Furness, of all places. It weren't even my fight, I was just backing my boy. Around this time I got hooked on gambling and never thought I would, but I felt this pull, and a few times I won big. But winning big was the worst because it meant you were constantly chasing those figures. I used to blow all my money and then do those payday loan rip-offs, lending stream, quick quid. I'd pay me rent, then gamble the rest try and win my money back. What a madness. Then later, I got this polyp on my vocal cord and I couldn't even rap, man, it broke me. I had to have surgery on my vocal cords. I was asking loads of questions. God, what's going on? I didn't know what was happening, but I felt like God took away my voice for a bit so I could hear his. I don't know if he works like that. One evening, I was in pain with my throat and frustrated, so I thought if I could just get to sleep, at least I'm not focused on the pain. I'm lay there, and all of a sudden I felt this overwhelming presence. My hands went up in the air, and I started to thank God. I couldn't control it, but in my head I'm thinking, this is like some Gandalf, Lord of the Rings wizard business. And what am I thanking him for? Because I'm in pain. I had this peace on me that I'd never felt before, and it was like I was floating on fluffy clouds. After about 2 minutes, it stopped and the pain had gone and my throat was completely healed. I couldn't believe it. Even though the pastor and others in the church used to tell me rap was from the devil, I felt like God gave me my voice back to be his mouthpiece. I used to download mixtapes off thatpiff.com. Then I came across this rapper, Lecrae, with his mixtape Church Clothes, and I was like, who's this geezer? So I downloaded it. I realized he was a Christian and he was speaking about hypocrites in church and everything I felt, and I was impressed because I always thought that kind of rap was garbage. I listened to that mixtape every day, and one night I was sat there with it on and I heard, Marvin, you can rap, you just can't rap for the devil. Where did that come from? I knew it was God's voice because I had so much peace with it and it came out of nowhere. So I gave him 100% of my life then, instead of keeping 40% of it to myself because I was scared. God was doing something in my heart. He wanted me to put everything down and do his will. It's as if he was saying, are you willing to give up what you love the most? Which was music. I love music more than most of my girlfriends. My Dominican friend told me about this Bible school and I was hungry to learn, so I signed up. I started to learn about the authority of the believer and what spiritual warfare was. It blew my mind and changed my life. Oh, and you'll never guess who was on one of the Bible courses. My mate Leanne from college. I couldn't believe it. God's funny, you know. When I was seeking God, I got filled with his spirit and I started getting all these new ideas for music and started writing again. No foundation, out for the paper. That doesn't really matter when you're down for the Savior. Now with God's spirit in me and the new understanding of the Bible, I felt I was ready to take on the world and use my voice for God. The music that I put down over a year ago, God was giving it back to me now and something had shifted in me. I could feel this fire burning. I started working at the Message Trust in Vital Signs where we rap for Jesus and even won an award. We wrote a song, No Chains, and this guy said he was going to end his life, but he heard our song and it saved him and he gave his life to Jesus. Wow. I even wrote some pop songs with my boy Nicky from back in the day and we had one of them released on Sony. I could see why God gave me my voice back now and how he wanted me to help people. When are you going to get a wife, Marv? Good looking brother like you need to settle down. I know, bro, I'm just focusing on God, the music and ministry. But God, if you got someone for me, she'll have to sweep me off my feet. Amen. Little did I know God had someone lined up for me. Then one night I was chilling. Ping, I got this Facebook friends request and a message. Hi Marvin, it's Amber. I met you at the conference at the message and was in your group the other day. Oh yeah, what you saying, you all right? She kept asking me if I wanted to go for a coffee. I was swerving her a bit at first and was genuinely busy, but she was persistent. And God reminded me of that quick prayer the other week, so I met up with her. Amber had these emerald green eyes, good banter, and she was dead up front. It took me by surprise and she won me over. I started letting my guard down with Amber, and before I knew it, I was 100% in. A year and a half later, we were married and moved in together. A few months after that, COVID hit and we were in lockdown. Talk about being thrown in at the deep end. Amber had 2 children from previous relationships and we desperately wanted a child of our own. A few months down the line, Amber was pregnant but unfortunately had a miscarriage at 11 weeks, just before our wedding anniversary. We were devastated and I was angry with God. And for the first time, I really wrestled with my faith. We gave it to God and tried again. Me and Amber were sat in this dark room, anxiously waiting for the cardiologist to tell us the results from our baby scan. We sat there praying in our heads, and I heard the song, "Who has the final say? Jehovah has the final say." I knew God was saying he's in control. I'm sorry, it's not good news. Your baby has a congenital heart defect and will need surgery to have any chance of surviving. The medical team gave us our options. One of them was to terminate the pregnancy. And we said that's not an option. We trusted God and I held on to the song he gave me during the scan. Our baby was born in August 2021. We gave him the name Azariah because it means helped by God. We prayed for God to do a miracle with his heart and kept asking the doctors if there had been any changes. The doctor said one of Azariah's heart valves doubled in size when they thought it would wither away. We praised God. He had open heart surgery at 13 days old, and during that time, God gave us the strength to get through it all. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, and it changed my life. He was in and out of hospital for checks and consultations, and then he had to have a bigger surgery. His 2 main arteries were the wrong way round and they needed to switch them. The night before the second surgery, I was driving after I dropped off Amber and Azariah at Ronald McDonald House, and I said to God, I can't do this. I had UCB radio on, and this song came on. Holding on to me, holding on to you. I recognised the song. It was a song I wrote, but I'd never heard it on the radio before. Tears were coming down my face as I felt God give me this big spiritual hug, and I was at peace. This allowed me to pray for other babies in the hospital and see miracles happen that the doctors couldn't explain. Every day we were believing God would heal Azariah, but God chose to use the surgeons to heal him. The battle was over, and Azariah's heart had been completely corrected. He can now do what other kids do. The doctor said he wouldn't be able to play sports, but now they said he can, which is amazing because he loves basketball and bowling. God has truly helped him and he loves sitting in the studio making songs with me. Now I go into the schools and prisons and do different events using music to connect to people and to tell them about Jesus. See, I started with the music as a little kid. If you're naughty, you're naughty. And I'm still going with the music, but now I do it with the power of God. Now we don't care about your crystals here. Christ is king, that's crystal clear. So let me spin it back to that time where I was in a basement studio in Manchester with Abs and the slave boys burst in looking for someone. I could have got shot. After Strider came with the boys, things got tense. Other people were getting shot. Manchester was known as Gunchester then, and we were getting a lot of death threats. I was told to watch my back. I was desperate and said an emergency prayer. God came through for me and showed me he had my back, and he's the only reason I'm standing here before you now. So that gang had a lot of guys on their side, but now I've got God on my side, and what?